Hey everyone, and welcome back to Master Sight. Today I'm going to have game one of the Battles and Beers 2024, where we're playing the fun Sylvan. You got to scout, you got to find out, and we're going up against Alex Habig and his Northern Alliance. So let's go ahead, hop into the list, and we'll go over the game. So Alex and his Northern Alliance, he's taking pretty balanced list all around. He's got a horde of the Ice Naiads, fully kitted out with Tundra Fighters, Spears, and he had 5 points left over for Liliana's tier. He has two regiments of Hearthguard tribesmen. Uh, they're Huskarls. Nobody can tell me otherwise. One with Blessing of the Gods, one with Sharpness. Both of them have Tundra Fighter, so they're going to be extra fighty. He has two hordes of ice elementals. He has three Snow Fox regiments. He has an Ice Queen, fully kitted out, Surge, Banechant 2, Veil of Shadows, and then the amulets so that she can cast two spells in one turn. He also brought Surakina, the Ice Queen, for some Surge and Wind Blast that freezes and does some damage. He has a Thane on Frostfang with the Snow Fox. He has a Frostclaw Champion, and he has Harim. 13 drops, 23 unit strength. So yeah, pretty solid list. And yeah, so let's go over some of the events. So I just took a couple pictures beforehand. So we normally play in the backyard. We're playing in the front yard this year, but there was a chance of rain. We did get rained on a little bit, but we played through it. So, but yeah, this is the setup Jason has going for his house and for the event here. So you can see some people playing at this point, but I think we ended up with I think 16 or 18 guys, somewhere in there. For one day, that's not too bad at all. So, and then here's the judges TO table. He had college football going on. It's also the bar where there's plenty of drinks. The painting challenge, this was kind of towards the end wrapping up, so I didn't get a picture of all the units that were up here for painting, but this is actually a troop of centaurs. That was the winner for the weekend. They were really well done. They were done by Philip Cox. So and then here are his homemade trophies that he does. So you got sports, general, player's choice, and best general, second best general, second best general. So yeah, so cool setup. Here is where all the food's made. He has a smoker, a grill, and a flat top grill. So those were all going the whole day, and one of his buddies, Richie, we just call him Brisket because that's all he does when we're around is make brisket. He made the briskets, the pulled pork, the burgers, the dogs. The night before, Jason made some ribs. So, man, great food all weekend. And then the backyard turned into the kids' playground. So there's a couple of inflatable like bounce house and a big inflatable slide thing. So there was a lot of players either had their kids there or some families came over. They definitely turned it into more than just a tournament. It's more of a family gathering. So so yeah, really great event. It worked out really well for him. Lots of chaos, lots of kids, lots of Jello shots too. So and yeah, so here we go. First round opponent, we got Alec Habig. Alec and I haven't played in a long time. I don't know if it's been at least a couple years, probably, because I don't think he's been on the channel before. So, but Alex, one of the Lake SWAT guys from Duluth, and yeah, he's I think this year he painted up and did this new Northern Alliance army. Before that, he was playing some EOD. So yeah, really excited to be able to get to play Alec again. It's been too long. And you know what? We got lucky. First game with our, all scouting army, and we roll up and we get Invade for the first game. So, all right, better lucky than good, guys. So we're invading, and we're liking that for sure. So here is deployment. But nobody cares about deployment. What happens after deployment? Well, we'll look at his deployment. So he had his Thane, both ice elementals here, Snow Fox Troop, Harim, the sharpness ones, yeah, sharpness on the left, wolves, elite on the right, the bird, the horde of naiads, and tundra wolves there. Yeah, and I put so Forest Shambler Horde here. This is the one with Wild Charge. I have the I forget if this is the Nimble Troop or not, but Troop of Boss Grace, the Bane Chanting Forest Warden here. I have the King, Elven King here. The other Troop of Boss Race, the Speed, um, what's it called? Tree hurt, Forest Shamblers, those things. Nimble, uh, Nimble. God, I forget my list already. Tree herder. There's too many tree things in this list. Nimble tree herder, Wilt Daddy. I know Wilt Daddy. The forest guard, another forest guard, the other forest warden regiment, and troop of blade stalkers out on the right here. So I'll say that the scrying gem really helps out in these games. So a lot of the early drops are the ones that are not on the battle line, and then once I see where the opponent's going, I dropped. So you'll see that um, realistically my only prior like he only gave me good charges against ice elementals over here actually. These ice elementals, their corner is right on or just behind the 12-inch line. So this horde with wild charge is in range to get them on a charge for turn one. And then I also positioned this king here because he's speed 7. He can move in such a way that he can move up here, see around the hill, and he can double charge in. So my goal was if I get first turn, I want this horde and this guy into this unit here, uh, and that was what I was going for this one in particular. So um, yeah, so that I really I could charge some snow foxes or other things across the line, but realistically, I just want to try to pick on one unit, especially a unit like these guys that shoot the ice elementals. So yeah, here's my scouting. So I just moved everything forward, kind of how I said. I moved this guy over so that he could get the line of sight. These guys just all walked up on the hill. Yeah, we just did the fun stuff, the things. Um, and this terrain is it's a little hard to see, but obstacle wise, we got an obstacle here. We got an obstacle here. This thing was an obstacle too. Whatever. I think it was added late, but obviously buildings, forest here, forest there, hill. There was no flat terrain on this particular table. It looks like so. So yeah, that was our plan. If we did get first turn, but unfortunately we did not get first turn. So Alec went first, and this is what it looks like. So he went ahead and charged my king with his Thane. He got both of his hordes up on the hill to start shooting some icy breaths. He shot some breaths here at something. I forget exactly what. He just moved snow foxes up to block. He didn't actually charge anything with them. And everything else just kind of moved up. He did charge this guy here, and then he's trying to get some flanks with this dude. So yeah, pretty standard movement stuffs and whatnot. So he, uh, did a couple wounds here. His shooting. What did his shooting do? I forget what he shot at. He shot at the horde, I think it was. But yeah, they didn't die and they're fearless. So yeah. So everything held. Took a wound maybe here. Took a couple wounds over here. Yeah, and so on my turn, this is what I end up doing. So I could see his horde on the hill, so I charged the unit that I was wanting to charge if I got first turn. I charged it here. So the character with brutal 7 attacks hits on twos with elites. He's a nasty little bugger. And then I took the Forest Shambler Horde. I did get a flank then with the troop of boss race, which we're going to Bane Chant them. The other boss race went after this troop. I just kind of sidestepped to get in a decent positioning here, and I moved these guys forward a little bit, looking over this way. Wilt Daddy charged some wolves. Other tree herder went into Harim. But our thought is here that, well, he's kind of blocked up and bunched himself up, so I don't think he's got a double charge on me here. And the distance between Harem and the edge of this base is not enough for both of those Huskarls to fit, so Wilt Daddy's going to be in a decent spot to also only eat one charge, not two. So yeah, that is our plan. That is what we're doing, and we're going with it. And we're turning the Glade Stalkers to the middle because we want to shoot at a bird dude. Best target. We don't like shooting at regen stuff. So yeah. So we did get the Bane Chant off. We did murder a Thane on Frostfang. Turns out 20 attacks on a troop is really good. And in a flank, 40 attacks is even better. Uh, and they're elite. They're not within range of Wilt Daddy for vicious, but they're elite. They hit on fours. Elite hitting on fours. They get Bane Chanted. So it's fours and fours with 40 attacks and elite. So yeah, you know on average you should do 10 wounds without elite. We did enough. We picked up the guy. So and then look, we picked up another guy. We picked up the horde, which was awesome. I honestly wasn't expecting to do that because, again, my vicious aura is out of range of these guys, and as you can see, they took like 9 wounds, probably 10 wounds last turn from the shooting. They got a radiance of life from this guy, so these guys should be good for what 9 hits and then like 4 or 5 wounds, and then this guy is good for 7 hits and like 3 to 4 wounds. So what is that, like 8 wounds average plus brutal is 9, so we need an 8 twice. Yeah, I think we got lucky here. So but yeah, our positioning is as such. We just reposition. We want to you know threaten as much as we can. So we do take off the snow foxes with a 20 attack troop, go figure. We then also kill the snow foxes with Wilt Daddy, go figure. And I should say our shooting did like 4 wounds to the bird, but no waivers. So, oh, and I think I took this picture a little too early because I forgot about this guy. I countercharged because I moved these guys up. My goal was to hopefully get a waiver. I ended up doing 2 wounds and got a kill on him. So that's fine. But I had to then overrun. Otherwise, I was exposing the flank of this unit here. You'll see. He could have fit there. So yeah, my goal was just waiver because I think Alec was going to try to just like sidestep them out of the way and charge in, or if he sidestep them out of the way, he could potentially charge the flank here. Yeah, so anyway, we got a kill. We'll take it. So all the snow foxes are down. So this is going into Alex turn 2, game go fast. Game goes so fast when you scout in and get charges turn 1. So I should say we've accomplished our 2 goals in game 1, which was one, we scouted out of our deployment zone entirely before the game started, and 2, there was a first turn charge, there was a first turn kill. So yeah, so we did it. We did it, guys. Even though we got bottom of turn 1, we did it still. So this is what Alec ends up doing. So he just, I think he turns a little bit here. Basically, he's going to shoot and then he's going to surge him. So shooting scoots happening over here. The sharpness unit, I believe. Yeah, it was the sharpness unit charging over the obstacle, hitting Wilt Daddy. So, that's going to hurt, but it is what it is. His bird, who was unwavered, charged the flank of my troop, who already took 2 wounds, I think, from Harim shooting him last turn. And then he just moved forward to. He was out of range to charge, so he just moved forward past Wiltfather's withdraw range in order to block off the flank of his unit here from these guys. So yeah, that is movements. So shooting, he did do enough wounds, picked up the horde. He then surged into my character, who I believe is only on 1 wound after he got a radiance of life back. So I will also comment that so far, the one thing I think I would really change is brutal on this guy is good, but I think Gnome Glass Shield was just clearly the better choice and the way to go. Um, you'll see over the weekend, I'm putting this guy way up there. I mean, he's fast, he has a lot of attacks, he hits hard. Of course, I want to put him up there in combat and in harm's way. But being an individual, he obviously has certain liabilities, so I think the Gnome Glass Shield would have just been a much better choice for the weekend. Um, but yeah, other than that, I think magic items were perfectly fine. So yeah, shoot and scoot here. He does do a couple wounds only in the flank. Didn't roll terribly well. But he does get a waiver on the unit. And then he kills the forest warden out on the far right with his horde. Everything else stuck though, which is big that the individual survived. I guess on average he probably should. I think he only eats like 6 wounds on average, so being up to 7, yeah. But anyway, and Harim did like giant things. I think he only did 5 or 6 wounds, which a little lackluster. Um, when you get the Slayer and Harim with his base 10 attacks, you kind of want him to go off and one shot one of these dash 18 defense 6 guys, but he didn't. And Wilt Daddy took like I think it was 10 wounds, so because he did Bane Chant this unit from the character as well. So they were hitting on 3s, wounding on 3s. So 10 is about right with Vicious as well. Yeah, so that definitely hurts. We can't stand more than another. We can't stand another round of that. So on my turn, this is bottom of 2, mind you. So we're in the thick of it. This might be the deciding turn. So my tree herder here had just enough range to be able to do a legal withdraw. I wasn't within an inch here or here. And then I could see the flank, so I did withdraw and charge the flank as well as countercharging the front. My troop that was not wavered out on the far left was able to, I think that is the nimble troop. They were able to make their way into the flank of Harim, who already ate like 5 or 6 wounds from the tree herder before, and a cloak of death. So I think he's up to like 7 wounds now after double cloaks for 2 turns and whatnot. But yeah, and then I forget if this guy might be wavered. I forget if he is or not, but either way, he's staying there. We take the flank on the bird. We take the front here. And then on the right, we decide going into these guys with Ensnare isn't really that great, so we're going to just pivot them in such a way that his guys are going to be hindered, and my guys will get clear shots on him. So I have a shot between the unit and the obstacle here to hit majority, and then obviously over the top. I also set it up to where if he moves forward, he's going to connect with my unit, so he can't charge around and hit either of these guys. So yeah, that was my turn. I Bane chanted the troop, and look, the troop did it. They killed Harem. That those things are so nasty. I love these boss race troops. They're so fun. They're so good. Yeah, and I mean I got a babysitter Bane chance, so it's even better. But that's the second unit this one goes into in ganks. It's disgusting. So I do think this guy was not wavered, so he was countercharging and going to put in some wounds there. Speaking of putting in wounds, I think we got this guy up to 18 or 20. We did roll a snake eyes though, which meant that we had to take a jello shot, and a little bit of me died inside. So but yeah, he is clearly devastated by a large margin. But we didn't roll snakes on Huskarls, so thankfully that is a saving grace. Overran with this tree herder. Wilt Daddy turned to look this way. I think with a devastated bird and one unit over here, I'm hoping we can clean it up with the 4 units, 5 units that we have over there. But these guys are more important, and it's invade, so kill this unit strength is the idea. So this is what it looks like going into top of 3. Half the armies are dead. Gotta love it. So shooting, he Ice Queen took off the troop. He countercharged into the horde just to block him up. He charged. He killed the individual. Reformed like this. Um, he killed the regiment of Forest Guard and then turned to face double tree herder, one of them being Wilt Daddy. And yeah, he charged here, was hindered, didn't do a whole lot, same old, same old. So it's gonna be quick now. Here we go. So we charge in to the front here. We're gonna Bane chant again, boys. We counter charge here. We double charge here. We actually don't charge. Really bad picture. Sorry. We back off and we let the shooting happen. He only regen 1, so I'm thinking, if I get a really good round of shooting, maybe I get a waiver. Worst case scenario, he's hindered again coming into this regiment, and also it's delaying him getting across the middle. So what the hell? We'll do it. This troop boss race is a champion. I think this ice elemental horde had like 4 wounds on him from the individual before. But Bane chanted these guys come in. They're just my cleanup crew. That unit killed a Thane on turn 1, killed Harim on turn 2, and now bottom of 3, they've killed a horde of ice elementals. This unit is just the MVP of all MVPs here. And there's nothing left over here to look at besides Saniqua, Shakira. I forget her name, but she's some sort of wind blasting bitch that killed our other friendly troop. So we want to kill her. And then we killed the bird and overran to this position to get rally in place, because these are the guys that the ancients that have elite and rally 1 for elves. So I do really like that upgrade. I think it's really good, especially in this list. But the Rally 1 has come in. It will come in over the weekend. The Elite is really nice on them. So nice it's to the point where it's like, do I want to reconsider putting like sharpness on this unit, hitting on 3s with Elite, like normal elves, but your trees? And then you can get vicious from Wilt Daddy. But anyway, don't have the points for it. Got to stick with what we got. Hey, our double charge killed the um, or they were inspired, but the Huskarls. They already had taken like 4 or 5 wounds from the regiment before that they killed, and then a cloak of death or two, so they were pretty well wounded. But 19 attacks on threes and twos with vicious is pretty good too. So we overrun and we're staring down the rear of this horde. Yeah, so top of four, and Alex has 1 unit with unit strength left. So he just does a 180. He tries to move the casters to get a little bit of damage out there. Um, and realistically, none of it really matters. So he moved here, tried to push the troop away from inspiring and rally to try and kill him. I think he wavers the unit, but then we charge in, kill her. Our shooting, we shoot from the hill over top onto his other Ice Queen. We get a waiver. And then in combat, we're, double charge the front, charge the rear, and we killed the special lady. I forget her name, Siniqua. And then it's a wavered individual, and we end up killing this horde as well. And that's where the game stops. So 4 rounds, we're done. So if one thing's great about this army, it's quick. It makes the games pretty quick. Um, I think 4 rounds is probably going to be the average for the weekend, if I remember right. So yeah, we got the right scenario. We went up against Northern Alliance army that didn't have too much threatening speed to be able to threaten a charge against us on turn one. I think Alec had a couple of options. If he wanted to bring Harim in and charge on turn one, he definitely could have, and he had some snow foxes, but and then obviously the Thane on Frostfang. But outside of that, and we're kind of set up pretty tightly where we had flanks and everything when he came in. So yeah, it was really just being at Invade, boxing Alec into a corner, and then he won first turn roll. If he didn't win first turn roll, he might have just been stuck in his deployment zone for the whole game. But yeah, I mean, hey, we got a win with the army, so that that's probably goal number 3 if there was one. Just get a win for the weekend. But yeah, this army was a blast to play, really fun. I think I rolled really well on my fours, as we saw, with like the horde of ice elementals early on, and a couple other spots. I feel like the dice swung in my favor. So very happy with how the list performed on the first round, and we're we're having fun drinking Jello shots. So, but yeah, that was game one. So we got max points. We killed most attrition, and we got the win. So, um, yeah, so we'll be, fighting on the other, half of the tournament that got max or just below max points. So everybody that got a win is in contention for top place. With it only being 3 games and there's 16 of us, there's going to be 2 people that are left undefeated unless there's a couple of draws throughout the event. So there's a very distinct possibility that 2 undefeated players will be first and second general. But at this point, we're not even really considering that. We're just happy to have gotten a win and to check both of our boxes. Don't be in the deployment zone. Get a charge for first turn. So we've accomplished that, and we will scout and find out on the next video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.